Hello everybody, here's Cat Sparrow again with another session of Ask the Cat. Today I'm looking into my friend Escape Reality's account. I've been asked to do this. He's been watching some of my videos, so I have high expectations that this isn't going to be disastrous. But let's see, right? We never know. Let me just help the other clan members. I'm going to go through various things of production facilities, research, babes, vigilantes, family, yada yada, all the kinds of stuff in order to see what I would suggest to do here in order to move this account forward. Now, I think this has recently been started to be reworked in order to provide more cargo hubs and other production facilities and less cache, because there's only one cache here, but there's loads of lower level other facilities. That's one of the first things to look at really, is that first of all, on level 1, come on, you can just upgrade them for free without even clicking the upgrade button to at least a level that you don't need to feel embarrassed for. So let's just quickly do that. Get this up, right? Get your cargo up. Level 21 cargoes, level 18 cargoes. Like, this is not sustainable business. Not quite sure why you're making white gems here. Maybe because you were following my recommendations on building the various sets. Obviously, this requires for you to come back fairly frequently, and you might end up with an empty queue, right? You can also produce other gems here of higher qualities because you've unlocked this, in case you weren't aware of it. You need to get your resource production up to a level where you have more sustainability, because you don't have farms. Considering that you don't have farms, you haven't really invested into that very well. So I would take a few steps back on trying to do a lot of investments into battle. I would work on getting this account to a level of sustainability, which basically means, and I'll just do this while I talk, having sufficient resource production yourself in order so that you don't actually rely on farms. Basically, because you don't have farms and you don't have a well-developed, let's call it, economy, you're actually kind of crippling your own growth. And obviously that's going to make your own growth slower significantly if you don't have the means at all to actually produce resources. Gathering is obviously an essential part of the game in order to get resources, but really you should also always have your own means in order to produce them. So that's not good. Also, I can already see here Hitman is nowhere near the mansion level. I think you're mansion 28 now. Probably the same for the family business, level 20, also not good. So you need to work on those on the side of your resource production. I would even prioritize this. They're really cheap. They don't take long, especially at these levels that you're currently at, but they give you those coins that you can't get anywhere else. So, okay, you've done some sets here, which is good. You've got a set for growth, which is, I don't know, which is a building speed focus. I can't really see. You have one for production, yeah, which is the bits that focus on resource production. And you've started making, let's call it, random equipment that you're going to use for synthesization later. You've got quite a bunch of it, so that makes it a bit confusing, but that's just the intermediate steps. And then you have another set which you're currently not using. You've got battle, growth, gathering. I wouldn't do a gathering one, to be honest. I would just, for me the gathering one is just the growth plus a car. But if you don't use them yet, all of your sets, that's fine. We'll go through that again in a bit. You've got your augmented ring, that's fine. You probably have it at the highest that you can afford with regards to augmentation cards, but we're going to have a quick look into that. A lot of this is repetitious for those that have watched my videos before, but I'm still always trying to drizzle in a few new things that maybe you haven't seen yet. I think you talked about that you can't yet You do have the equipment switch, right? So you can freely, it freely shows you what you can unlock here on which level in order to design your layouts. I assume you've got the code on your battle equipment. Yeah, you have that. And you have the ignite car. I actually never used that. So let's see, because you've been playing for quite a while. Let's see if you can't afford anything better here. Okay, Black Sally I think is actually better than Ignite, which you haven't got. Let's see what else there is. You can have Queen. Queen should be part of your training and gathering actually, because it's better than Death Row. Death Row only has 25 and Queen has 30. So this should be part of your gathering set if you even have one, or like I said, the manual changes. And then you probably have Cruising Cannery. Yes, you have that. You don't have Lady Silver yet. Okay, so that's your next milestone. Lady Silver is actually good because it gives you the skill cooldown time reduction, which means when you have this car on and you use any skill of your special skills, like the shakedown or something, it reduces the time it takes to get it back. Especially good for the energy one and for the rescue skill, things like that. Quite handy. So get this as part of your training set. You do have the 3 sets, okay, battle, growth and support. Let's just quickly explore how they have been designed. You went down the arms production, okay. I think given where you are at the moment, you should probably go down the cargo, because you still need a lot of cargo to build facilities. And here you've got the investment cost. Yeah, I've done the same. I'd rather go for time than for for resource costs. So this is generally okay, but I would still switch this track. I've switched it by now to arms, but I think it's too early for you to do that. Yeah, this one's fine. And this one is, I would call it perfect. Yeah, and when you've got this full here, then don't go to rate up speed, it's nonsense. Use your extra skills from the next level onwards to do bulker health first. Whereas 5 levels here and 20 levels here, that'll take you a while, and only after that you can think about other things. So this is good, right? You don't have emblems on some of your equipment, probably also because you're in the process of wanting to develop it to level 40, because I think you've fairly recently reached level 40 here on your account. That actually makes sense, right? Because it's an intermediate step, so it's a bit confusing because buildings are in different places here. So the refit center is here, then the clan hall is here, and okay, it's a layout I've never seen before, so that's interesting. I need to work my way around those problems. So this is 28, 26, 26, 27. So you're preparing for the upgrade to level mansion 29. Don't do it. Like really, it will cost you a lot of cash, obviously, to get there, which you probably can't get yourself because you're running a major deficit operation, right? So you can get it from the truck, you can get it from the smuggler. Like, always get cash from the smuggler. First of all, I always buy everything at the smuggler that's for resources, and then I hope that, and I might even do 1 or 2 switches here for a little bit of gold, even though you're really broke, my friend. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done this. You'll probably kill me for using some of your gold. I've never seen an account with that little gold. Maybe because you haven't used your gold reserves. Yeah, you've got something here. Okay, so I don't need to feel so sad. And you've got all these safe resources, which actually means it doesn't really give you a clear indication of what you have available. None of this can be robbed. All of this is safe. The only bits that are unsafe are these bits here. So you've got 31 million unsafe cargo, you've got no unsafe cash. some unsafe arms, no unsafe metal. You won't get attacked anyway, because I know you're good at bubbling and taking care of your business. But in order to really see what you can afford, it would actually be better, and I'm just going to do it, you can hate me for it afterwards, if you would use these resource packs, unless you're keeping them for emergencies. Sorry, too late. In order to see where you're at. Right, so okay, 40 million cash. You might have some optional ones. Okay, 7. Ooh, what's this masochist title? Cute. Some gem boxes. I'm sidetracking, right? So I'm not going to do that right now. Let's explore your growth set. Is that your builder set? Sorry, I find this confusing. None of this has any benefits on really building. No, this has a building speed, okay, and this one has nothing. So I don't understand the set. If this is for if growth is building, then I would not do this. I would really just have those pieces on here which are giving you production acceleration, like building acceleration, which in your case at the moment is only 2 pieces. And then I would rename this, right, from growth to build or something. And then at least for me it's clear what this is. And now I know I can use this and activate this when I want to build buildings. And really get your cargo production up. Use all your cash on getting your cargo production up. Use all your cargo to get your other facilities up to a level that's better than this. Because you actually said to me the other day, oh, my cargo production is pretty low. I mean, yeah, it is. It needs to be better. I know cash goes fast, but you get 15 million cash per day on the truck if you get on the truck, which I think is on for another 3 or 4 days, which is another 45 to 60 million. You get everything from the smuggler that you can, and you might even want to consider getting it from the plantation store, besides maybe emblems and energy and the production queue. Don't buy a leader experience or VIP points or anything like that, because the cash you really need in order to develop your cargo, and then the cargo you can use to properly develop other areas. You're not training any troops at the moment. I always have my queues busy. I don't know if you're doing that for a particular reason. You still have quite a lot of old stuff, like T1s and T2s, and I mean I lost them when Tempura attacked me, which was good, because I was also hesitating to disband them. I would get rid of those. I know there are some guides out there that put ops together where you have like 1 or 50 of each in even higher level attacks. It's debatable. You can do it if you want. One problem that this has is that these guys are usually slower than the higher level ones, which means if you're using this, I wouldn't call it trick, but if you're wanting to attack something, have you not attacked any? What is this? Because I've just logged in here. I hope this is a local setting. When you're attacking and when you're determining the amount of percentage you need from your ops in order to attack, it also starts to incorporate your lower level troops into that at some point, and those are slower, which means your attacks will actually take longer, which is then inconvenient if you want to do a lot of attacks in a short amount of time. So consider getting rid of them when you're ready for it. Sorry, SVOP 6, yeah, this is all good. Let's look at Hitman. Yeah, this is fairly underdeveloped, my friend, which is also because you haven't got your Hitman coin facilities up and because you're short on resources. So you've not built the sustainability. You've luckily done this first, that's good, because this obviously at least has you save Hitman coins as and when you do something here, but now you need to invest everything that you can in order to keep your costs down, because you're not producing much. So again, you'll keep crippling yourself by not having these reductions researched. Building speed is one. You don't have a lot of gear that helps you reduce your building duration, and then you haven't actually invested into saving resources on the builds. So you don't produce much and you spend more. I would use speed ups now to go through this. I would ignore the combat services. I would go through the development services pretty much 100%. And I would also do in parallel a little bit here, because this still reduces the costs of buildings, especially here 23 to 27, which are a lot of the resource production facilities that you still need to do. So this would still be worth it, and it doesn't need a lot of coin, right? At least the first level's not, and you've got a fair surplus of coins, and you haven't really used them. So maybe that's because you're trying to save resources in order to build buildings, in order to maybe get up to Mansion 30, because you want those T10s. But I would take a step back on this account and really invest into growing its production facilities, and then eventually go up to Mansion 30. I know you're halfway through to it, which is why it's tempting to continue. And you could just, if you're really eager to do it, then spend your cargo on increasing the facilities that don't need cash, and save up your cash to the amount that you need in order to be able to afford it. Remember, there's another level after this, and there's another training center that needs to be upgraded, plus the wall. So it's a really, really expensive undertaking for you that is a slow producer and a high spender at the moment, because you don't have those cost reductions. And I wouldn't do it. Like, lean back, and invest into the future by making your own production sustainable, and then come back in a month or so. What are you doing something? Because I don't have any. Yeah, storehouse. That's good. I'll help you with that for sure. But I will not take this car, right? Because we've just learned that we've got a better one. We've got Black Sally. Okay. Yeah, good. And we'll change to battle skills. And then we will come and help you, Red Lips. Okay. Family gold, 66,000 means you haven't spent it well. Maybe because you didn't have the resources, because you wanted to save them. I'm just speculating here. If you've watched my videos, you know that if you've started developing here, which is good, cheap first, there's still quite something to do, and it really doesn't cost a lot. It also doesn't cost a lot of resources to do. So I'm not quite sure why you haven't really done much here, but you get like, let's just say 10% here out of everything easily, if you were to invest your family gold in very little resources, which you haven't done. Instead, you've got some family member development here, which you shouldn't do, because you're so far away from T10s, T11s with regards to other requirements. This family gold that you spend here, which was a lot, like I don't know, 150,000 or so. Also here, not a good investment. Should all have gone into family battles, family training, shadow battles, shadow members across the 4 families, and then you just develop family battles, family training, shadow battles, and shadow members on your main family, which is the one where you've earned reputation. And then maybe at some point later you can think about T11s. But otherwise you'll end up with T11s that don't have good stats, which means they're going to be losing anyway. They're still better to have, but you can get a lot more out of this if you were to invest better in the family. And then later, when you've got your sustainability, you will start investing it also in the Hitman agency. But yes, this account is still in a growth phase, and you've tried to accelerate through this making it look bigger, sorry, than what it is at the end of the day through the mansion. But in order for you to then go further up to like an elite level, it will take you so much time because you don't have the production. Sorry, I'm hammering this one. That it's just, in my opinion, it's not the ideal strategy. Let's be political here. So you've got nick on your wall. Okay, that's Itsumi. Yeah, you can do that because they both give you. This is good actually because they both give you benefits for each op, and then you probably have Caesar and maybe Bruce on your main. Even though Bruce only from the next level gives something interesting, but you're fairly close. You've got Nick on a level 2. Okay, your vigilantes are fairly okay. At least you've got some active ones that we can work with. You still need to develop Adriana to get these bits here that you can later also upgrade. And remember, by buying the fragments, you will get this for sure. So far this week you haven't provided anything because I'm just logging into your account and you haven't woken up yet. But then if you use your saved up ones, which you have saved up actually here, maybe because you wanted to save them for this week, right, where you get the benefits of the clan going here. You've just made it to the first level, right, to get those bruise fragments, and you're already like 1/3 of the way. I think if I go in, you get the rewards for just getting those bruise fragments. You're basically 1/3 the way, and if you continue this, it will guarantee you this box. Okay, so that's okay. You can do that. I actually use Bruce and Nick on my main ops, and I have others on the wall, but that's really a bit of personal preference. You can do it one way or the other. Let's have a quick look at the babes. Yeah, you've got a level 3 investment here. This is nonsense. Sorry. Why would you invest into defense weapons? Because you're planning to get attacked a lot, and then instead you haven't really worked on those. It's a bit misdirected. Also here you went for the cheap ones. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the interruption. So yeah, you've invested here with your very, very rare jewelry cards and all the defensive training things, and you haven't spent much on those that actually give you attack buffs. And remember, getting attack and defense is not just good for attacking and defending. It also helps you on, for example, the slammer, which is your main source besides your own family gold production, on getting family gold in order to develop that further. So it helps everywhere, also on the real estate, right? So even if you're not someone who goes to fight, it's still good to improve everything for the eventuality of maybe having to fight at some point. Okay, you haven't done Karina yet. I would finish her. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're actually doing the right thing here, and I sometimes don't do it myself because you're kind of keeping them at a balance. So you could, of course, go for trying to get the 4th star here on Catherine, but that's much cheaper and gives less benefit than actually gradually developing Karina and Mariah. So, because you could just get the next skill here very soon at like 900, which doesn't cost you that many roses. And here we get the next skill at 1,000. Here, right, this will cost you, I don't know, level 4 stars costs you like 600, 700 roses or something. I don't know the exact numbers, which obviously is much more expensive just for one skill. And even though it's a nice skill, which is also upgradable, it's actually better to gradually do them in a more balanced fashion. So that's good. Then let's look at the investment agency. Are you doing the equipment? You've done the switch. Yeah, I would finish this just because it's nice to have those attributes. see, you need to work on your resources. You need to increase your gathering speeds. They are not very good. Obviously, you don't need to worry about cash, right? Because cash just goes straight into the bin. You can just do these here if you've got nothing else to research and no resources to actually research anything meaningful, and you have a completion fetish that I have, that you still want to do this, even though it doesn't really give you much, but maybe at some point in the game it actually makes sense, then you have it. So since this literally costs nothing, I would probably still develop these when the time is right. But you definitely need to work on your arms, metal, freightage, cargo, freightage, metal productivity, and then a little bit here. These get fairly expensive, but I would still do some levels of it, and then I would only get back to it when I really don't have better things to do with the resources. I myself haven't even developed this lower part of the tree, even though I could afford it. Because it just gets, the first one is like, okay, not so much, but it costs you 3.5 million arms. The cash is not so bad. And obviously the 4%, you can do the math as how long these 4%, for how many months these 4% would have to go in order for you to get your 3.5 million arms back. That's quite a lot. So in these areas, it starts to become not so economic anymore. Long term always, but the long term really is a long term here. We're not talking about maybe next month or the month after. I think even if you do the math right, we're talking about much further down the track. So crew capabilities, yeah, that's good. You've done the cheaper ones. This is great. Crime op speed, leadership. Yeah, I mean, you will get to see this when you get to those mansion levels, which maybe is something you want. Yes, you want those elite skills on Elite 1, they're great, but you're just too far away on this account from that. So I wouldn't do it. I would work a bit here on construction speed still. I would definitely do the energy recovery because it's your main source of activities. I would get some for my healing center and healing speed here. I wouldn't have used the jewelry cards. This is still useful to do because it also helps you on your slammer because it affects everything. So when you recover and heal on doing the slammer, this is beneficial, and the street ops speed as well. I have a feeling you haven't really been attacking street ops and mercenaries a lot. Maybe I'm wrong, but obviously this is something that needs to change. Because on the one hand, you need the special gems in order to make at least the basic equipment pieces. And okay, you have, good. Sorry, I'll take that back. But on the other hand, you actually want the substance Z, or you want the augmentation cards or whatever they drop, or especially the emblems in order to develop this. Your equipment isn't too bad. You've got a lot of spare gems which you're going to be able to use to get this to level 40. I would actually leave this at level 45 also because you have it augmented, because the one that you would get otherwise isn't that much better. But get these training capacity and gathering speeds off. They don't belong here. They belong on your kingpin set once you have that on orange. What belongs here are attack and defense emblems. You're mixing the skills, obviously because you only had one set in mind in the past when you built this, so it's fair. But now that you're doing a second set, you need to get the stuff off that doesn't help you on attack and defense and move it over. And you move it away from here as soon as you can afford the emblem removal tools, right? Because you can put something better here and then you move them to your kingpin set parts once you have them on orange. I wouldn't do it to gold. I would then start focusing back on my main equipment, but I would definitely do it in orange. And I've had it there for like what feels like 6 months now, and it's doing a good job. And you may have similar things on other emblems here. Gathering speed, yeah, same, right? That doesn't belong here. You've got these health emblems. Maybe you've done them. I wouldn't do anything on vehicle. Maybe you've done them because they were your only ones in purple. But I still wouldn't do it because vehicles are the worst. the worst ones to use. Better do a smaller one on bulker and biker, or even shooter, than a big one on vehicles. And also, yeah, this one doesn't belong here, right? You got this through purchases. This actually belongs on the set that focuses on investment. And for that, I have actually made, you may have seen this in previous videos, I've made a cheap ring. Yeah, actually like this, a blue ring of despoil, which I keep, where I put the investment production emblems on. And that's purely because there is no piece in the accessories which gives you any benefit on investment. So I've got 5 pieces in the other areas that help, but none here. So I just put the emblems here, because it's purely focused on one single part of the game with this single piece. So it makes a lot of sense to do it like that. And then, yes, you're probably working on your Kingpin set. Yeah, you've got the shirt, and you started working on your Terrorizer set. I know it's tempting to continue working on the Terrorizer set, but I would probably recommend you, given what we just talked about, to just develop your Kingpin set first. And now is the question, you can't do everything at the same time, because you also have your empty equipment here with regards to emblems, so it's kind of ready to be upgraded. So you should probably alternate between upgrading your main equipment, so you put emblems back on, and then trying to get your Terrorizer, trying to get your Kingpin set, and maybe wait with the Terrorizer equipment a little bit, because you want to have at least the production buffs on your Kingpin set. You know, if we just look at it, if you wear 6 pieces, even on white, you get 10% production, 8% investment speed, 8% training speed. And then when you get them on higher levels, they become a lot better. And there's also one piece which gives you building acceleration, which you really need to get your economy up and running. So I think, I know I make long videos and it's annoying some people, but I also try to be at least a little bit funny sometimes. That doesn't appear to be so boring, even if I say something that you've seen before. Yeah, actually shouldn't be doing this, right? Apologies, because you want to use the roses to actually level up the babes that still need roses, but no gifts yet. So yeah, I think I'll leave it here, because that's enough for you to work on for now. Forget about the mansion, work on your economy, work on your acceleration of production, of resources, work on your Kingpin set, and get those Hitman facilities up. Don't use the buffs until you have them on your mansion level. They will, yes, you will get coins, you will get more coins, but you have a surplus of 24,000 which you'll need to gradually spend. And while you're doing that, you don't need to produce more where you're wasting these buffs, which are hard to get. You get them on the truck, and you get them in the clan store, which is actually the only thing that I use my clan owner for at the moment to buy them, these Hitman coin production boosts. And maybe, maybe the emblem removal tools, but that's not a regular thing, that's only on occasion. Okay, I hope this helps, and if you want to have me have a look at this again at a later stage, please let me know. I'll be happy to help. Thank you.